Live, this is One for the Record. I'm Diane, and today is March 13th. Ooh, 2012. And this is your update for uh, Tuesday evening. And first, I'm going to do is a shout out to all my commenters out there and also my subscribers. I want to give you credit where credit is due. All right, here we go. People Stand Up CA, I guess so that's People Stand Up California. Music and Phenomena, and the and is an and sign. It's not the word A-N-D. Also, let's see, The True Nature of Man. These are all one word. These are all channels out there. The Scorpion King Den 2, and it's the number 2. Some cool names. Very creative. Skywalker 4100s channel, and that's the number 4100s. And Ghost of Space channel. Ghost of Spaces channel. And here we go. Ragman 1736's channel. Funny Korean TV channel. Stephens Doyle, Doyle. These are shout outs to you guys. Mort, M-O-R-T, Minoch, M-I-N-O-C-H. The R.J. English, N-W-O-R, Dregs, D-R-E-G-S. Also, Teddy Marvelli. And we also have, who's my favorite out there, Nibiru Magic 2012 and Miss Milky the Clown's channel. Hey, thank you. Thank you for commenting or subscribing. Now, let's move on to the news, and then I'll do some weird commentary at the end. Some kind of weird rant for you guys. Some more theories. Alrighty then. Okay, let's go to the Watchers. Strong solar flare reaching M7.9 peak on March 13th, 2012. Also, let's move it down. Current California drought and future water supply. New modification of Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Flash floods, Australia. Worst flooding in decades continues to threaten parts of state. New tropical cyclone Lau moving slowly off the Pilbara coast, Australia. Japan, 1 year after the mega quake, more than 19,000 lives lost, 1.2 million buildings damaged, 574 billion. I believe there's probably more people than that. A lot more people than that have been killed. And also, let's see here, prominence, eruption, and CME impact March 12th, 2012. So, moving on now, that was The Watchers. Get rid of that one. That's what's going on that channel. Well, basically on that website. Let's go to the Extinction Protocol. Outbreak of Newcastle disease reported in South Africa. And they had to kill more than See, disease has killed more than 170 chickens. Ew. Okay. And that was reported in Les Hobo Village. Let's see here. New South Wales snowy mountains rattled by tremor. And that was about 5:20 a.m. their time. Okay, what do we got going on here? Indonesia's Elgin volcano placed on high alert after rise in activity. Northeast and Midwest U.S. flirt with record high temperatures. That's coming out of Minnesota. March 13th, Japan. Sakurajima continued its second day of violent eruptions. And it's the most violent eruption in 3 years. Let's see. Red meat blamed for 1 in 10 early deaths. Huh. Alright, but I have to have my steak. I'm sorry. Ew. I still like to eat cow. I don't know why they don't call it cow, because that's what it is. It's cow. It's not ham, hamburger. It's not other names they call it. It's cow. Climate-related disasters displaced 42 million in Asia over 2 years. Wow, that's a lot of people. And that's what's going on right now on the Extinction Protocol 2012. Let's move on now to SOT.net. Earth changes. The giant underestimated earthquake threat to North America. Just over 1 year. They're talking about the Japan earthquake. And they're thinking, and this one said, to host quake savage power, over 15,000 people died. It's more than that, I believe. After seeing what the tsunami took out, they had no time to run. That's a lot more people than what they're saying. Unbelievable. The ghost forest of dead cedar trees at the Copalis River on the Washington coast is evidence of a major quake 3 centuries ago. And there's a picture, but it kind of looks like something burned everything down. It's what it looks like. Maybe it was volcanic, but who knows? That's just my opinion. NASA sees double tropical trouble in northern Australia. And there's 2 storms just almost right next to each other. One is called Tropical Cyclone Lau, and the other one is System 96P. They're real close. Okay, and they're talking about the Japanese volcano that went off against Sakurajima, and I did favor that. I did favor some cool stuff again, so just look to the right now, because it's there right there, and once you click favorites, it starts playing all by itself, one after the other. Nitrogen contamination found in California water. And this looks like a picture of the Central Valley, and it shows nitrate contamination in their drinking water. 1 in 10 people living in a productive agricultural area of Central California is at risk. Wow. Louisiana, 15 inches of rain in 5 hours. And it looks, wow, it's all flooded out. Looks real bad. And it says, torrential rain left homes and roads under several feet of water. Hundreds had to flee their homes, and dozens of motorists had to be rescued. And that's it with that. Let's take that off. Now there I am. Ooh, no makeup. Quick, put the sunglasses on. I usually don't wear makeup because then I don't dress up every day. Alrighty then. Well, we have all those here. Here comes the commentary now. We have all those CMEs hitting us one after the other after the other. And I was watching, it is under my favorites. It's David Wilcox's Event Horizon. And I believe it's the second to the last part 3 and part 4. And he's talking about how light and energy waves can change DNA. So with all these CMEs coming our way, solar flares, and we're supposedly having a higher consciousness and our DNA is going to be awakened. Maybe that's what the sun's doing. It's changing our DNA. And here's a theory. Between the CMEs and even all the radiation coming out of Fukushima, Kamikaze Fukushima died with honor, since they don't want to turn it off or stop it. And can we change? Supposedly, the DNA can change. I mean, not just like if we had children at an embryonic state. I mean, we could physically start changing, like in the movie The Fly, as I'm taking it. We can actually transform. So, you know, maybe grow another head out of your shoulder or something. I don't know. But, or like in that movie The Fly, something could happen and our DNA is going to change and we're going to all go ascend. I guess going to ascension, but what happens if our DNA changes and we physically start mutating, I mean, as an adult? That's something to think about. Not to worry. I don't want to fearmonger anybody, but watch that David Wilcox's Event Horizon. You'll see what I'm talking about. But that's my theory. I think it might be possible we might change like in that movie The Fly. And that's why, and that's why there's no missing link between us and and I guess, what is it, Cro-Magnon or whoever it is. I believe that maybe we just genetically changed, and there you go. That's why there is no missing link. And what else? Oh, and I was watching Miss Milky the Clown's channel. Excellent channel, of course. That's all your radiation update needs. It's handled there, basically. And I saw something like TEPCO is now apologizing after a year. They're sorry for the trouble, but they still don't have any information for us on exactly what's happened and what is happening, of course. But they're officially apologizing now. It's like a day late and a dime short, and it's still going. It's still going. And oh yeah, and that David Wilcox's Event Horizon, that was done in 2010. So it's amazing how some of the things that's in there is coming to pass. I don't agree with everything he says, but he's right on with a lot of things and has a lot of good information. So, and that thing's like almost 3-4 hours long. So, you really have nothing to do. Go ahead and check it out. It'll automatically play on my favorites. And let's see what else is going on. I think that's it. Oh, I'd like to also say hello to, I'll give a shout out to St. Christopher 5. Hello. Also, Day Colleen O and Ozone Research. Hello. I didn't forget about you. I almost forgot, though. I want to thank you for visiting my channel. I guess that's it for today. I'm sure there's other stuff I wanted to talk about, but I can't think about it right now. I'm going to have to write it down next time. I always come across very interesting things to tell you guys, and then by the time it gets to nighttime, sometimes it just woo out of the head. So, um, I'll have a list of consumer activists, things to do, and urban survivalists. I can give you one thing that you can do that can save you a lot of money. If you're a smoker, I've seen someone do this the other day. So, if you are a smoker, let's say, oh, it's like midnight and you don't want to, you really don't want to run outside and go buy cigarettes, or you don't have enough money for cigarettes. Um, if you take your cigarette butt, I've seen people do that, so this is a good idea. But I've never really seen it till now, years later. Wow. But they take rolling paper, and you take your cigarette butt, and even though it looks like it's all the way down to the nub, all the way down to that nub, you can squeeze out like about this much. About this much tobacco still inside the filter. And all it takes is like 4 or 5 butts, and you can actually re-roll yourself a cigarette. You know, get some 99-cent, I believe, rolling papers, and you can just, take your butts and re-roll yourself a cigarette. I guess that's. And then what you can do, then I've seen people with one of the empty butts, you put the rolling paper and you shove it back into one of the hollowed out cigarette butts, and then you put tape around, any kind of tape, I guess. Just don't smoke the tape, or don't let it burn down to the tape. But now you have a filter too. And I guess the flavor of the cigarette is like almost the same as whatever filter you're using. So there you go. But that's like the emergency gotta have a cigarette tip of the day to save you some money and get you through the night. Just don't let it hit the tape, that's all, and make sure you put it out real well. Another thing I saw people do is they have a glass of water, and I saw caregivers do this too. I hate to say that, but you can't really smoke in someone's house, but you go outside so you can grab a quick cigarette, maybe a few puffs, and then go back inside. And what they do is they take a glass of water. You can do this at home. It'll stretch your cigarette out for hours, I guess. You have a glass of water, a pair of scissors, you smoke your cigarette, and then you cut the tip off, just where that's lit, right into the water. Make sure it hits the water. Now you can relight the cigarette, whenever. You go back to the same cigarette later, and it doesn't taste like something that's, I guess, relit. It tastes like almost like a regular, without you relighting it. So, and that'll save on instead of holding the cigarette and letting it burn like incense, like some people do, you can just cut the tip of it off, put it back in the ashtray, and come back to it in 5 minutes or whatever. That'll cut you way back on cigarettes too, now that the price, I think, is very expensive. I think it's even like $7, $8, and craziness when you start getting into rural areas and things like that, like $10, I've heard. Some areas, even probably higher if you're out of the country. So that's just a cigarette emergency saving money. Because there are people out there that do smoke, and it's costing a lot of money. Maybe that'll help you save a little bit of money. That's some cigarette tricks for right now. I know, better not to smoke, but stress will kill you probably faster than the cigarette. How's that one? So, alrighty then. You have a wonderful evening. 2 days down, 3 to go before the weekend. Have a great, great evening, and I'll see you again tomorrow.